Hey everyone, let's chat about a guy named Aristotle. Born around 384 BC in ancient Greece, we know that his dad was a royal doctor to King Amyntas of Macedon. We know that his parents died while he was young, and at the age of 17 he joined Plato's academy in Athens. What we do know, however, is that his views have shaped philosophy. Imagine growing up and becoming the most influential philosopher ever. That's Aristotle for you. People even called him the master and the philosopher. It's like being the Michael Jordan of philosophy. Aristotle's first big job? Tutoring a young chap who later became known as Alexander the Great. Talk about a star student. After Alexander set off to conquer the world, Aristotle moved to Athens. He hung out with another big name, Plato, for a while, then decided to do his own thing. He started his own school, the Lyceum. Think of it as the granddaddy of today's high schools, especially in France. Now, Aristotle was the kind of teacher who couldn't sit still. He loved walking around while teaching, kind of like those teachers who pace around the classroom. His followers got a name too, Peripatetics, which basically means the wanderers. Most of what we know about his teachings comes from notes his students took. Yep, lecture notes have been a thing since ancient times. Aristotle was a curious guy. He wondered about everything, like how a chick grows in an egg, or why plants grow better in some places than others. But the big question for him was, what makes a good human life and a good society? He thought philosophy should help people live better, not just fill their heads with fancy ideas. Let's look at 4 big questions Aristotle tackled. Question 1. What makes people happy? In his book, Nicomachean Ethics, named after his son Nicomachus, Aristotle tried to figure out what makes a good life. He believed that people who have a good life show certain virtues. It's like having superpowers for living well. He listed virtues like courage, patience, and friendliness. Aristotle thought each virtue is a perfect balance between 2 extremes, too shy or too bold. Neither is good, but being confident without being overbearing, that's the sweet spot. Question 2, what's art for? Aristotle was into plays, especially tragedies. He wrote a manual called Poetics with tips for writing killer plays. He asked, why do we watch plays where awful things happen to people? His answer was catharsis. Imagine watching a movie that's so sad it actually makes you feel better. That's catharsis. It's like an emotional shower that cleans out all the bad feelings. Question 3, what are friends for? In his book, Aristotle talks about 3 kinds of friendship. There's the fun buddy, the person you hang out with because they're a blast. Then there's the useful friend, like networking buddies. But the best kind of friend, according to Aristotle, is like your other half. Their joys and sorrows are yours too. It's like having a teammate in the game of life. Question 4, how can ideas cut through in a busy world? Aristotle noticed that the best idea doesn't always win, so he came up with rhetoric, the art of persuasion. It's like learning how to make your point in a way that sticks. You've got to understand people's fears, make them laugh, and use examples they can relate to. Aristotle was all about getting good ideas out there, even in a world full of noise. So that's Aristotle in a nutshell. He wasn't just a head-in-the-clouds philosopher. He wanted to figure out what makes life good and how we can all live better. He's like the wise friend we all wish we had, who can explain complicated stuff in a way that makes sense. Next time you're pondering the big questions, think of Aristotle, the ancient Greek guy who's still helping us figure out life thousands of years later. And that's it for today's chat about Aristotle. If you like this, hit that subscribe button. Got any thoughts or questions about Aristotle? Drop a comment below. Stay curious and I'll catch you in the next video. Remember, even in our modern world, ancient wisdom can still light the way. Keep exploring, friends.